So would you say you have a passion for it? Like this is what you know, this is what you enjoy. Like, are you
Yeah.
enjoying it now, type of thing?
I do. Yeah. I mean, the high points of my career were when I was a journalist.
Right.
Those were the fun things. Driving a car like this one on a racetrack in Spain is like a lot of fun. But despite like what Instagram might tell you, like those experiences are like few and far between. Unless you want to be one of these journalists who's like constantly on the road. And I have colleagues like that. They're never home. They fly from one of these like press events to another, and they live out of a suitcase. And it seems very exciting, but it's not for me.
Why?
Because I want to have a home life. It's also hard to travel if you keep kosher and Shabbat. So I have to plan my events around like, well, where am I going to be for Shabbat? Where am I going to get food from? I'd usually fly to Europe from Israel for like 2-3 days maybe, and then fly back. I would just like bring some food with me,
right,
and try not to get too comfortable out there in the diaspora.
Right.
One trip I did actually was just one day, and I was in constant motion for 24 hours. I didn't bring a suitcase. I packed like a couple of sandwiches, my camera, my laptop, a change of clothes, and from when I left from my apartment to when I got back there was pretty much exactly 24 hours. And, I went to the airport in a cab or whatever, got on the plane. They had the car waiting for me at the airport in Germany. I drove it all day, drove it back to the airport, got on the plane, came back. With nothing but the stuff in my backpack.
Wow.
And it was like one of the best press trips.
That's awesome. You had another trip recently. I was following you on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right? Was that your most recent trip?
Yeah. So now it's kind of funny because I didn't expect when I switched from journalism into like marketing content, I didn't expect that I would be like going to a racetrack again for a long time, unless it was like out of pocket. But yeah, the company that I work for, we launched this initiative where we're sponsoring a racing series. So we went to the racetrack a couple of times, once in Belgium and once before that in Italy, to go and see the races that we're sponsoring and meet the people that we've been working with.
Wow. What was that like?
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. There was one 24-hour race in Belgium, and we went with a contingent of people from the company, and some of us are also Sabbath observant for our broader listening audience. So we rented a house right by the racetrack, and I'm making kiddush, blessing the wine on Friday night, and I had to pause for a second as all the cars went.
Whizzing by.
Wow.
So yeah, that part's been fun, and we have a couple of these professional grade $20,000 racing simulators set up in the office.
Wow.
So on some days when I don't have the kids to come home to, and really nobody to come home to, if I'm not picking up the kids from school and gone at the end of the day,
Kindergarten, yeah.
right? Then really, I'm walking into an empty house. So I'll work late and then go over to the main office and just sit there for an hour trying to perfect my lap times.
Wow.
And embarrassing myself terribly.